20 still, y'all.
It's a huge copy mug.
I know, I have one that big too. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja
Shut the
Turtle.
fuck up.
Damn me! I'm freaking nursing that damn thing like a
Trying. You bitch ass motherfucker. You need to hurry your goddamn eating. We gonna go to a fucking bakehouse and you gonna be still eating that fucking burrito. Bakehouse is gonna be like, don't talk with your fucking mouth full. But then your fucking dumbass gonna be like, what?
I just see it in my mind. That's the problem. We're sitting in the car and he's just going off on him. Eating a fucking burrito. I just fucking finished.
This is why I like writing dialogue. This is why I like writing dialogue.
Bad shit. Just got this one dude eating this fucking burrito, taking his zero time.
Mask like half looked up.
Yeah. It's just slow eating. It's just quiet in the car. It's just quiet. Until Chris says something.
Go fetch, bitch.
Oh my goodness.
Oh god, they called the cops already. Gotta go.
No. That's foiled. Oh, I need that. No, that'd be awesome. It'd be very simple thing to do. All you have to do is draw still and draw this fool's eat it, and it's just everyone sitting there watching him. You got like being out of in the back of the guns. It's shit like you're ready to get out, you know?
Yeah, you put the best person at the driver's seat. The one who can't drive it has a fear of driving.
I need an inside joke. Chris, don't drive. Where's the key? Car keys.
What's the R mean? What's the R mean?
Okay, fellas. Okay, Josh. You can talk.
You hurry your motherfucking ass. You wanna know what happened to the last motherfucker who didn't finish the burrito on time? Cause he never existed. Cause no motherfucker eats a burrito this fucking slow. Fucking white ass. Do white people not have burritos in their culture? Do they not have burritos in that culture? Or do you just call them wraps? You go to your fucking place and you get wraps. Can I get one wrap? Oh shit, I'm another white person giving you your wrap.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Chris?
Let's call Ray with the same one, then we'll give him a zebra cake.
In a world where existing material is the basis for most of our movies, why can't they get it right? Why can't they get adaptations of those materials, those sources correct?
Cause Stone Cold said so.
What?
Well, I mean, the easiest answer is that there's just so much in the book or the comic.
Yeah.
That's the easiest answer, because like, how you gonna turn, you know, a 800-page book into a 2.5-hour movie kind of thing?
Miniseries.
Yeah.
Yeah, series, multiple.
So aside from having to just, you have to cut out stuff to make it work as a movie. Even, yeah, it's a different kind of medium. It's a visual medium, not something you can just build in your own imagination. Yeah. Like, one of the best examples I always used was the Hunger Games, where it's like, the whole book is set in her, it's like in her mind, essentially. It's her narrative. She's constantly talking about what's going on. So in a book, it works just fine to have her sitting in a tree, like, thinking about her situation and stuff like that. But if you did that in the movie, it would just be Jennifer Lawrence sitting in a tree for like 40 straight minutes thinking. And unless you were going to do an actual like voiceover inner monologue, which is just terrible in movies usually, it would just be her sitting there. But even then, aside from just the obvious reasons as to you do have to change things, Yeah, a lot of times the stuff they do change just seems unnecessary. And it's like I just don't quite get why they change it like that.
But even with Jennifer Lawrence sitting in the tree, wouldn't it be more beneficial to the structure of the story? Because that's where I felt Divergent failed. Because a lot of her stuff is just what she went through is just all of this like just strife and all this. Like she was just trying to get through and try to acclimate and try to not be Abernation or whatever and try to adapt to Dauntless. But yes, she has these other factors just keeping her down. But yes, she persevered. But in the book, they just kind of skipped over a lot of that. All those. Oh yeah, movie. In the movie, yeah. In the movie, they just skipped over all that. They just neglected to address that point because it's all about setting up a mood, setting up like how tormented she was and then how she persevered as a character. And then you'll see that evolution on screen of her becoming strong. And then let's go to G.I. Jane. You know what I'm saying? You see her like just broken down and then what does she start doing? You got the freaking the montage where she's freaking doing push-ups and one-handed push-ups and stuff like that and pull-ups. And then boom, you see growth there. She becomes more confident. But sometimes with the books, they just spearhead it, and it's like, okay, well, we have to skip, and they don't set up the characters. And they even failed so to do so in Hunger Games. It was a good adaptation, however, but a lot of it was her inner monologue and just what she was feeling, and that's what he felt in the second one, in my opinion.
I never actually got around to seeing the second one.
Oh, Catching Fire? Oh, really? Whereas, like, a lot of it was about Pan Am or whatever.
I don't know, I never saw it either.
Where did they
I never saw it.
No, but where did they live?
Panem.
Panem, right? Panem, right?
Panama.
They live there. It's just like concentrate mostly on her being back at home and dealing with the whole Gale and Peter and her love and stuff. But yet they kind of like beat. Okay, we gotta get to the other games, which was insignificant for that book. It's like they weren't really as a necessity as they were in the first one. She's being taken away. So I was thinking like when they have to do that, when they have to speed the script along just to get to the good points to make it movie ready, for the audience.
It's like
they skip over that.
They don't parts to focus on.
Yeah, they don't establish what it is usually with a book that will address is like inner.
Sometimes they go in the opposite direction of like trying to like cut out stuff, and they'll try to cram too much stuff in, like they did with X3
and Hobbit 2. Where they added the freaking love interest. And shit.
Yeah,
that was so
and, like,
fucking stupid.
X3, they like made like 3 different storylines and just like crammed them all together because they were like, oh, this is gonna be it. So you had like the Phoenix storyline, you had like, the House of M storyline, and fans
it's
don't
messed up because they had.
Yes, it do.
If you read about the evolution of that script, they had like maybe they had 5 or so writers take a stab at that. So they had 3 different scripts out there, and that would explain why they had the Mutant X gene, and then they had the gene. The Phoenix Saga.
Yeah, there was.
They have another one.
There was the Mutant Cure.
Yeah.
The Phoenix story. Like just too many.
They had all 3 of those scripts, so they just kind of blended them together. The last writers, they're like, here, just put all this stuff together and make it work.
Yeah, you easily could have
the
Phoenix
They
Saga.
opened up their little pig pen. It was like, hey, you guys. They got 2 writers, and they're like, okay, we'll do it. And they just put it together, basically. That was their job. Is just to put it together and make it work. So that because they were starting to film and they didn't have a script at that point. Okay, so they had to rush it. It was shit.
Bashing X-Men 3 could be its own whole other episode. But I will say one thing. Like, I knew that movie was going to be shit in the beginning when I was watching it, and it opens with Angel cutting his wings off when he's a kid because he wants to be a mutant, doesn't want to be a mutant. I was like, okay, I get that. That should have solved it. Do his wings just infinitely grow back?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
He cuts his arm off. Is his arm going to fucking grow back?
Yeah, I don't know that. Maybe,
To him, that's just an appendage.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck would they grow back after he saws his own wings off as a kid?
Oh, I was just thinking about that.
Does he have a healing? Or no?
I think he had. Well, I don't know if he has the healing factor. Before or after
addressed, but
he turns into Archangel, but I think he does.
But I was just watching it.
Let's stop talking about X-Men.
Yeah, that's its own whole.
But how can they? Okay, then.
Well, they did it with Spider-Man 3 too, where they threw in
freaking threw everyone in.
Green Goblin.
Yeah,
the difference is though, I like the Sandman part.
Venom.
Me too. But yeah, all three of those villains could have carried the whole movie on their own. You could have done a whole thing about Venom. You could have done a whole thing just about Harry's revenge on Peter and that as the second Goblin, or you could have just focused on the Sandman. Any one of those. But they had so much comic book backstory lore that they wanted to cram in there that they threw them all in together, and we just got a jumbled mess.
Yeah. But kind of the reverse though. Sometimes when it's a short story that they try to make into a movie, sometimes it's a little better, but sometimes not always.
Okay, then let's go to
kind of like with Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's only like a not even 100-page book.
Yeah.
It's a little kid's short story, and Wes Anderson made it into this 1.5 hour long movie.
And it was damn good.
It was damn good.
Because then you can take more creative license there.
Exactly.
And you need to fill in. You need filler. You need more content. You need more story and stuff.
And a lot of that is the quality of the person making the adaptation.
That is
Wes
true.
Anderson can take a short kids book and make a really great longer kids movie. But you give How the Grinch Stole Christmas to Ron Howard, and we get that.
That's kind of guilty pleasure for me because I know it's bad, but I still watch it.
I hate the Jim Carrey Grinch
So
movies.
bad.
What about the little Who one? Horton Hears a Who.
Horton Hears a Who?
That was decent.
It's alright.
I'm never really a fan of any of anytime they've turned Dr. Seuss into
I was going to say, when it's Dr. Seuss, they can't seem to get it right.
Yeah, well, so for me, because it's with Dr. Seuss, it's like they keep the worst thing you can ever do to Dr. Seuss is adapt it into a feature film because they always seem to completely miss the moral of the story, whether it's either in the retelling or if it's in just the ridiculous studio marketing for it. Seems to like miss the like you guys remember when we got the Lorax?
Yeah.
It's a movie about tree.
Yeah.
It's a movie about tree conservation. So the studio decides as a promotion they're gonna hand out cardboard mustaches, Lorax mustaches to children.
Oh, don't forget the SUV.
Oh yeah, and the SUV.
Triple a Tree approved.
Yeah, the SUV, the little
Commercial.
paper SUV flyers that we handed out at the box office, like, or like you get the Grinch story, which is the moral of the story is Christmas doesn't come from a store, but if it's 1999, you can't walk into a store without seeing hundreds of things of different Grinch merchandise all over the fucking store. My grandma got me Grinch boxer shorts that year. And I was just kidding me. It's like if you hurry up now, you can get the limited edition Grinch Christmas mug and really, that's just awful.
But what about you read a lot of Stephen King too, don't you? Because they adopt a lot of his short stories, so which one of those would be more successful?
One of the ones that's actually a bigger book.
Cemetery was...
Pet Cemetery is one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, just a short story, right?
No, it's a book.
No, that was the book.
That's a big book. And I think they did a really good adaptation of it.
I don't know about Christine, though.
I actually haven't read Christine.
Really?
I've seen Christine. It's not even that good of a movie.
Yeah,
Cujo wasn't even that good of a book, personally, but same thing with the movie. I didn't really care for the movie either.
Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption. I love that movie.
Okay,
I love the story. I've read about half of Green Mile. I haven't read all of it.
That was a series of
that's a series.
Like, series of mini novels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those mini novels.
Yeah,
and stuff.
but
novellas. A lot of those are actually pretty good adaptations to screen.
Most.
Is it just because they're shorter?
Well,
Shorter.
Here, I got one for you.
Shorter in written form.
Maximum Overdrive is based on a book on the short story Trucks. Trucks is only about 10, 20 pages long.
Yeah.
It's fucking Maximum Overdrive.
How
are you gonna make a movie about killer trucks, hour and a half? Alright. Yeah, fucking what's his face from Mighty Ducks? Isn't he in it?
Estevez?
Oh, Estevez, yeah.
Estevez is in it. You put him in there. That's all you need.
But you were telling me about Lawnmower Man when
oh my god, that one was.
And how that was just butchered.
Totally different. Okay, it's about a literal lawnmower man who is spoiler alert. If you haven't read the short story, it's 8 pages long. Go fucking read it. Or go read a synopsis. It's about
probably the synopsis is the story.
Yeah, pretty much. The lawnmower man. This guy hires a lawnmower man because he's too lazy, or I can't remember, his fucking lawnmower is broken. I don't know, because he killed a dog with it or something. And he doesn't want to mow his lawn, so he hires that lawnmower man. The lawnmower man turns out to be a fawn, a pan creature. Half goat, half man.
Yeah.
and he's eating the shit, eating all the lawn clippings. Like, he's controlling a lawnmower with magic, and it's automatic, and it goes by itself, and he's eating all the grass clippings. The man faints, freaks out, and he pretty much becomes a blood sacrifice for the fawn.
So what you're saying is basically they just paid for the rights to the name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because that totally was not the movie. It was shit.
Like, the fucking movie's Flowers for fucking Algernon. That's what it is, except for
Oh,
evil.
there you go, yeah.
That's what it is. They should have just called it Evil Flowers for Algernon.
So why'd they call it fucking Lawnmower Man then?
I don't know.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, sometimes you see that where it's like, this has absolutely nothing to do
with
at
the
all with the...
So the funny thing is, I like Lawnmower Man, though.
I thought I saw a movie recently that was like that.
I remember you saying something about
Yeah,
it. I
I
don't
just-
remember what it was.
Yeah, but
World
what
War
was
Z.
it? Oh, yeah.
We don't
That's a
talk
whole
about-
other segment right there.
We're not talking about World War
We're not going to go there right now, but we will in a later podcast. Go and read that book.
Yeah,
Actually, just listen to the audio
Actually,
book.
yeah.
The audio book is fantastic.
Find the World War Z
Yeah.
complete movie tie-in edition unabridged audiobook. It's read by a full cast, like 30-some actors reading the different character parts. It's fucking phenomenal.
You ever take it in?
Josh, you need to
No,
make sure
I
that
read it, though.
that you're
Oh
saying.
yeah, I read it first, and then I went because he told me to read it, so I read it first, and then I went to the audio book. I was like, wow, so much better on the audio book
Yeah, no,
with
we're
all these
supposed to
different
read it
personalities and
For
stuff.
school.
Oh,
Yeah, so,
really?
Yeah,
Oh shit, that would have been an awesome project.
yeah. We
Oh,
read it for
assignment.
school and we talked about it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, we went to a cool school.
I know what the hell. Well, I went to Palo Verde, but what's up, Palo Verde? Take this. No, I was kidding. So, but yeah, But okay, then how about biographies?
That's not really my genre
they?
I dabble in too much, so...
Yeah, me neither. But sometimes you see a
I've
good
only
one.
read
All right,
Gene
Wolf of
Simmons.
Wall Street. I thought was a pretty good damn adaptation of the book.
Never read
Because-
the book. So.
Oh really? Yeah, I read that. You know me. I read all
Yeah.
that stuff before I actually went in. And
I did
you know?
enjoy the fuck out of Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, but the book was like just about as enjoyable. You know, they had to speed along with a lot of stuff, but they made the movie damn 3 hours long, so they
Yeah.
put in a lot of shit that was actually in the book
Yeah.
from this dude's biography. So I thought that was actually a rather decent telling of it. But you know, they did not shit on it.
Yeah.
They was like, okay, well, we're gonna put all of this in there. Scorsese is pretty good at that.
Scorsese.
Was Gangs of New York a book?
I don't know if it was a book.
I remember
think it was-
Hugo. Hugo was. I think
Oh,
he did a
Hugo.
fantastic adaptation of
Yeah.
Hugo.
Yeah, Hugo was pretty. I read that one too
Yep.
beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, you always do that. You always insist on reading the book
I really
first.
do.
And I always insist on sticking away from it until after I've seen the movie. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Like, if the movie's good, it should make me want to read the book.
Yeah, I
Yes.
also try to do it in the reverse order, where I'll watch the movie, and if I enjoy it, then I'll try to read it. So I tried doing that with Lord of the Rings, but because I had watched it, and I had the visual, setting in my head, when I went to go read it, I was like, I'm still in the Shire. And I was
Yeah.
like 10 pages in, and I was like, there's too much description.
Yeah.
And I just put it down, and I never went back.
I couldn't do it. I tried it. I forgot what book was. I watched the movie and I was like, oh, I would love to read that book. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't even interest myself. Like after, I have to read the book before and then go in and judge it that way. I don't know why. Maybe just immersive. What is it called? You know, that damn word when you become accustomed to something. No, you familiarize. Yes, familiarize yourself with the characters
Talk
first.
English, damn
And
it.
then I go in, I know, right? And then I go in, it's like, it's okay for me. But if I do it afterwards, I feel like the book is ruined. Like, there's no fucking surprise there because I know what the fuck is going to happen. It might be different, but I know what's going to happen. It is just totally just disinterests me then. I was, put it down. Next book. And I was like, what else is coming out? Shit.
I've always joked that there's certain books that you're never allowed to read because then you'll never want to watch the movies again, and I know they're movies that you like. Like, I'm never going to let you read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, the book that Blade Runner was based on.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's one of my favorite examples of a movie and its source material being wildly different, but they're both excellent on their own.
Yes, individually.
Like, the basic plot and the character names are the same. Like, it's a bounty hunter of androids, basically, burnt out detective thing. But the themes and the morality and the storyline are so much more different, so different between the book and the movie that it has very little to do with each other.
Yeah.
But they're both phenomenal versions of the same story. Jurassic Park being another one.
Oh, yeah.
You're not allowed to read Jurassic Park because
Yeah,
you'll
you
never
can.
want to
You
watch
can
the
read
movie
that.
again.
I've read almost everything of that man's except for that. I don't know why. I just didn't want to. And I was recently watching this on one. Was it Man at Large? What is it? It's on Channel 11. It's a new with Christopher Maloney.
Don't ask me. I don't watch TV.
God damn it. Whatever, but he was starting to read, like, because it's based in 1991, so he started to read Jurassic Park, and he kept throwing the book down like, that shit, that's because he's a doctor. And so he's like throwing it around like, that would never happen. He grabbed the book again, started reading, and throw it down again because he'll get upset by some kind of scientific fact. And he would bring it back again and just read it. And then at the end, his wife ruins it for him. But, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to. I flirted with
I
it.
say read it. I say read it.
I
It's one of my favorite. I love Jurassic Park, the book.
And
And I can still watch the movie, okay?
Yeah.
Really?
I can.
Speaking of adaptations, though, Michael Crichton's books, they adapt well to screen.
Mm-hmm.
I just
They often do.
because if you actually read it, it's written like a movie, and he even said that in an interview that that's how he sees it. He sees a lot of his stuff. He just sees images and stuff and it plays like a movie in his mind, and that's how
That
he
makes
writes
sense,
it.
actually.
But because he does have that scientific factor where because he's a doctor, he has that knowledge that he'll put in all that other exposition. But yet that he says that's how he plays it. If you read it, he totally just paints a picture in your mind, and it really does just play like a movie. That's why I was interested in actually reading Jurassic Park, just for that fact. The fact that he said, that's how I write. So I want to bam, 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 bam. I present you images and then, an exposition if you need it.
Good bookmans. They have like 1 million copies for like $2.
I have it on EPUB. I have it on. Yeah, I thought his was pretty cool. So, all right. With that though, which movies do you like? Recent movies. I guess we just talked about that, like recent
Dread
adaptations.
was awesome.
Huh?
Dread.
Oh,
Dread's a great adaptation.
Excellent adaptation of to the 2000 AD comics. Let's see. Recently, what stuff have I seen that some of my favorite?
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I actually really loved how they
You
did
did,
Amazing
yeah?
Spider-Man. Yeah, I thought they really nailed the Peter Parker character a lot closer than Tobey Maguire did. Skip me, you guys.
I'm trying to think too. I can't.
But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. Sometimes like Chris was saying, sometimes short stories make good long movies. I mean, Total Recall's been made into a movie twice, but the short story it's based on is a Philip K. Dick short story called "We Can Remember It For You Wholesale."
Yeah,
And it's only 20
awesome
pages.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
If that, it's like 20 pages. And yeah, that is an awesome title. We Can Remember It For You Wholesale.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I love Philip K. Dick. So.
I do too. Yeah, Philip K. Dick is one of my
I need to go
favorite
read some of
writers.
his stuff.
You do.
Yeah.
A lot of his stuff gets made into movies. Minority Report, Paycheck.
And are they well adapted though too? Do you think?
I like the first Total Recall. I mean,
The first Total Recall is very different than I don't know. It's I don't think they're necessarily well adapted. I think it's just
Enjoyable. They make it enjoyable.
yeah. He comes up with great stories, like great concepts. That no matter how you change, as long as you keep that concept, you got a lot to play with, and you can make a cool movie out of it.
Okay.
So Philip K. Dick's, Blade Runner, Total Recall, very different than their source material, but the core concept is such a good idea. As long as you keep that core concept, you can make a damn good movie out of it.
Yeah. Okay. And then that brings me to a point which I always like to ask is okay if you want to adapt a book, is it a sin to go away from the book a little bit? Take the core concept of it, but then create your own of that book, your own iteration of that book for the screen. Instead of having to go beat by beat by beat from the novel, follow that beat by beat. Why don't you just create something of your own? Just say, okay, I got this idea. Boom. Yeah, I read it, and it's going to influence this next story. And there's influences from that story in the book, but it's not the book.
yeah.
You think?
I
I think
get what
people.
you're saying.
I think audiences would be more accepting of that. But if we started doing that, you would have to actually have actually start like a revolution or a new trend of okay, we're not following the book. We're creating our own. We have our own writers and stuff. We're taking it. And we're taking the core concept, the one thing that you love the most about this book, or what you just take meaning from the book, and I'm going to
We're
adapt.
already doing that. It's called Divergent to Hunger Games.
Yeah, Dystopia, The Giver is the first one of that serial of dystopian societies. It was the Giver. I just learned. I'm like, okay, well I have to read that one then because shit, they're making a damn movie of that as well.
Yeah.
How many damn dystopian societies do we need? like shit, it's looking bleak, y'all.
It's called this.
I think
it's
it
called this.
works, but at the same time, I think it depends on the fan. Because, like, when Iron Man 3 took the Mandarin, and then it was
I
like,
thought that was fucking
oh, he's not.
Yeah,
It was
pissed off a lot of people.
I remember that already.
But
so
then
what are we doing? Were like okay with it because they were like, oh, okay, that was funny, that was like genius, but. Initially, people were like, "What the fuck? No, that's not supposed to happen. He is a Mandarin. He's supposed to be a badass, not some paid actor who's a stoner."
You mean Russell Brand?
Yeah.
But no, like, what if they did that though?
They pull a Russell Brand on us?
No, it just took the story. It was like it just made it something. You know, just made it something else instead of having to follow it beat by beat.
That's what Shrek did.
What?
Shrek.
Yeah.
Shrek was based on a short story.
Oh.
I mean, it's.
I think you're safer off adapting short stories because you really only have a little bit, so it's like
Except
it's almost
Yeah, exactly. You have a little bit to go,
but
and then you can just.
And then you.
it's
use your
expected.
imagination
It's
to
expected that you have to basically like with a short story. It's like you're really only getting a concept.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
like here's your concept. It's expected, yes, you are going to have to add characters, make a whole story out of this little bit. If I was a filmmaker, I would feel under so much pressure from adapting books that I almost probably wouldn't do it. I'd adapt short stories because it's like, okay, here's 10 pages. It's basically an outline. I know that it's understood that I'm going to have to add characters, make a story around this. If I was like, I would never try and tackle like, oh, well, this is a 500-page novel, the first book of a series. I'm not even touching that with a 10-foot pole. Like, no matter what I do, someone's gonna get pissed off.
I'm not going to get this right. Period. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's a lot of that just inner struggle type.
And it's
stuff.
like you were saying with the is it okay to just take the core concept? At that point, it's just like if I was a filmmaker and I was like, oh well, I'm just gonna take the core concept. I would just feel like I don't want to do that either because. I didn't come up with this idea. I'm just stealing somebody's idea, basically. I'm not following their stuff. I'm basically saying, oh, I read your book, and I really liked it, so I'm just going to steal the main idea from it and make my own shit with it.
Yeah, it's going to fuck up.
So,
but I don't know. It's just, which way would it, because they're not even doing it well with the books that they have now, that they're that book adaptations. So it's like, ugh. But you're going to have a lot of it.
It's when you...
Peter Jackson kind of doing it.
Yeah.
With like Hobbit,
The Lovely Bones
he's
also.
adding in like Silmarillion to
What,
it.
you didn't like The Lovely Bones?
I liked it to a point.
Yeah, I understand where...
Oh no, that's what Amy said too.
Once they got to towards the end, the first part was fucking magical. I loved it. They followed it almost to a T, and they just represented it very well. But then they didn't give you all the good stuff that you wanted. You know what I'm saying? In the finale of the book of the story, they just kept you kind of lingering there. It's like I did not want that. I didn't want to linger. I wanted them to actually end it just like they did in the book. Because it was just so, in my opinion, because I was like page turner for like a long time. And then I hit that. Okay, I think they did it in the book too, where it kind of deviated, where it kind of slowed down a little bit because it went so fast. And it's like, oh, this is happening, and then it kind of. Petered out. Yeah, the movie just kind of. I was kind of like,
I liked Wolverine, except for the fact that I had to ignore the fact that when his claws came out and he no longer had his healing power, like the moment that went back in, he should have bled out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He no longer had a healing factor, so there should have been just holes there.
Fucking bloody, his arm is just all bloody and stuff like that. He's just standing there, just dripping blood. Oh, that would have been a nice scene to have.
Basically just destroyed his hands.
Yeah.
He popped his claws the first time.
Yes.
But I don't know, it's like it's hard.
No one wants to see a crippled Wolverine.
But yeah, I don't know with book to movie adaptations. Like I'm more the cinephile than the bibliophile. So it's.
I like them both, man. It's just. But recently I've just realized I'm getting a lot more from books than I am from movies, and maybe. No, because even with some of the ones I've watched and haven't read the book, I'm just like, like if I didn't read Divergent, I probably would have been like, just because I didn't think it was that well made,
Yeah. I don't like these teen adaptations personally.
It's just
it's because they know they can get teens to watch it and they'll enjoy it no matter what. Because teens are Kids are gonna watch it. They're gonna.
What about The Road? I'm afraid to say I read that
it.
book, but I was afraid to. And I had the movie, and I still have the movie, but I'm afraid to watch it because I did not want it to ruin the.
I haven't seen or read it. So.
Oh really?
I haven't read the book, but I've seen the movie. The movie's one of the most depressing fucking movies I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, so was the book. It's fucked up.
See, now I'm gonna have to read and watch it now. I love it.
Yeah, the book is all fucked up, man. But
no, like, yeah, the movie's just. Oh fuck! I needed a hug after I watched that shit. It's just like
nice hug from Jack.
yeah, I read the book and I was just like, damn. And then I was just wanted to because it was one of those things where I read it.
Yeah.
Then the movie came out. I was like, I don't know, kind of want to watch it. I poked my hand in there a couple times. It's like, I don't know. So I still haven't convinced myself. It is. And then I recorded it one time on like one of those free weekends for HBO or some shit.
Yeah.
And I recorded it. It was sat there for like almost 2 years on my DVR, and I still didn't watch it. But I have it.
yeah, for me the main thing, like I said, since I'm more of the movie guy, I don't care. For the most part, I don't really care what they change as long as it's not like with Lawnmower Man. It's like you just bought the title. It's nothing to do with the fucking story.
You just didn't have enough money to fucking buy the rights to Flowers for Algernon.
Yeah.
And you just did it. You decided to just buy Lawnmower Man because it was shorter.
Did I just watch a movie like that? Well, I said, they just took the title from that. Oh, no, it was World War Z, I think it was. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I just went back there. I thought it was a little bit more recent than the summer, you know?
But for me, as long as they get the moral of the story or the basic core concepts correct, they have a lot of leeway to play with. And then sometimes a movie keeps getting made off the same goddamn book, and they can never fucking get the core concept.
I don't talk about that yet.
Shut your mouth.
God damn it. But, shit, man, see, you were just talking, man, you got me thinking about that. And I was going to talk about something else. I was going to bring up another question to you. Pose you another question. God dang it. Chris, help me out here.
I don't know what you talking about.
Why'd you get all squeaky, man? What the hell? Somebody grab your nuts right now?
I just turned into Chris Tucker. I'm sorry.
That was a bad impression, man. What about, okay, you know how we talked about core concept. What about, you know how you read a story, right? You read a story and you have this vision in your mind of character. And then what about, does that bother you, the character aspect of it? Whereas like on screen is totally different from what you envisioned in here?
I have no imagination. No, that's not true.
Yeah, right, yeah.
No, that doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother you?
It never bothered me because I don't assume
Because
that
attributes and stuff like that might be different in the movie. I mean, the book, and then in the movie they're totally like under or over exaggerated.
No, because for me,
That bothers the fuck out of me.
because for me to be like disappointed that the person I'm looking at on the screen isn't like I pictured them in my head would mean that I'm egotistical enough to think that every human being who ever read that book pictured that person the exact same way as me.
No, really. Yes, but no, it kind of bothers me.
Well, I was gonna say I think that's what bothers a lot of people for Adaptations.
Yeah.
Because
It's
you
not the
have
same as
this
what
like
they pictured in their
yeah,
head, but you're not the
character-
only person who pictured it
Yeah.
in your head.
Yeah.
Everyone pictured it.
yeah,
They probably
and they all picture
pictured
it differently. So, but
Yeah, shut up, fangirl.
I don't know. Because I think back in the day with like Ruby and all them, when they were like Twilight obsessed,
Oh.
they
Yeah.
all had like this vision of Edward. And so then when Robert Pattinson comes on screen, they're kind of like, that wasn't my vision of Edward. And it's gonna happen as well. It's happening now
it's
with
happening
50 Shades of Grey.
well, and it's happening
Whereas
with
they're like,
Divergent.
she does not look. Oh yeah, even I was gonna bring that up. I didn't want to bring it up again, so that's why I went Twilight with it. But then it's gonna happen with 50 Shades of Grey as well.
Yeah.
They're like, that's not my Christian Grey, or that's not my Anastasia. And even I read like a quarter of this book and was like,
I read it.
that's not Anastasia. You know what I'm saying? That's not Christian Grey. You know, bring that dude off of a white collar. He's that's more of a Christian Grey than anybody else that I've seen. Or shit, even guy that plays Superman or Hamill or something like that.
Henry
He could have
Cavill.
played it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Henry
Cavill
Cavill,
should have played it. So I don't know. To me, it's just I do get a little upset over that because, like in the Divergent book, this girl is supposed to be like maybe 5'1", very small, like to the point there, and then she's a lot of description like, oh, she kind of looks like a little boy because you know the Peter character keeps teasing her because she just looks small. and she just looks small. Like, Cheyenne, she's like what 5'8", 5'9", and she's kind of tall and kind of she got some meat on her bones, but. I don't know, but it didn't bother me because she still looked weak in the damn story. I didn't like that. I'm like, okay, you still didn't, but yet, Hunger Games.
See,
Hunger Games, she was supposed to be.
I don't know anything about. You just talking about two more.
Okay, let's go with
I don't know anything about. The Grinch. I never imagined the Grinch looking like Jim Carrey. They got ran over by a.
What's something else I just
parrot?
I'm trying to think of ones where
they're not teen movies.
I'm trying to think of examples of like where I had read the book and I watched the movie and I was like, yeah, that's exactly correct.
Yeah.
I know.
It's some of my favorites. Oh, go ahead.
Gandalf.
Oh, damn, Gandalf was pretty good.
Yeah.
Ian McKellen's Gandalf. That's fucking Gandalf right there.
Pretty fucking I do like me some Gandalf. He is.
A lot of those. Actually, a lot of those. Gandalf, Saruman, fucking Frodo.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, actually, if we're going there, fucking Sam. Aston Samwise is perfect.
Yes.
Interesting.
Is a perfect casting for that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of anyone who could read that book and then watch that movie and be like, that's not Sam. Like,
yeah, that is true.
that whole thing.
They really did well with that one.
Mm-hmm.
I must admit. That Lord of the Rings. Sam, see Return of the King. That's sad. I know.
That's
I have it
really
up there.
So
too.
sad.
I've had it.
Get out of your own house.
I've had it for years and I still haven't done it. I wish I had more examples, but okay. Do you have any favorite adaptations?
As I said already, Fantastic Mr. Fox is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I keep going over that one, saying that one just because it's the one I've seen most recently, like at least a couple times.
That you enjoyed.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
It's hard for me not to watch it over and over again because they let me rent it on Amazon for free when I bought the DVD, and then now that I have the DVD, I keep watching it because I like it so much.
I really did come out of that movie like, damn, that's a good movie. Yeah. My kids can kind of like, but
I can understand. It's not really that much for a kid.
Yeah, but I was just like, damn, that was fantastic. Yeah. I was very, very much impressed by it, by the art of it, and by just how well it was executed. And again, I just love Wes Anderson.
Exactly.
So that's my thing. But
something that we haven't been talking about for adaptions, we've talked about comics, we've talked about books, but video game ones, they just can't get fucking right.
Those are terrible.
There's an easy reason for that is because up until recently, most main characters in video games were simply faceless avatars. So how the fuck do you make a movie that doesn't really have a main character?
Exactly.
Or it has a main character.
Give them no face.
Have a main character that has absolutely no personality because we're supposed to be able to put them on like a suit and be them in the game.
wasn't that the worst? Like one of the worst ones?
There's way worse.
Way worse than Doom.
No?
Anything by Uwe Boll is worse than Doom.
That's basically Doom's
Which
not
one did he do?
the
Blood
worst.
Rain or?
Blood Rain, Tanked,
Postal.
Oh, I didn't
House
even
of the
hear
Dead.
about it.
Oh,
That's
God.
all he does is video game adaptations, and he intentionally doesn't even try to make them good because he's got this like weird German tax shelter.
Yeah.
He just has to make movies and he gets paid for it, and they don't have to make a profit, and he just makes money.
Oh, damn. Really?
So he just gets licenses to cheap video games no one cares about, shoots a film, doesn't care if it's good or not because he's going to get paid either way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's protected by some weird German tax shelter for filmmakers. So he can just make shit, and even if it doesn't make a profit, he gets paid a bunch of money.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not in Germany. We can't
Damn
do
it.
that.
Keep talking about the video games. I'm about to go back to one of these other adaptations that we have not talked about that is recent, that is not a teen movie, and that was badass. Anything else about these games and shit?
Let's see. The first Mortal Kombat wasn't the worst, but if it was
Fucking was, yes.
no, the second
Fuck
one's
you.
worse than that.
Second
Oh,
one,
yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
the casting was pretty alright. And if it was rated R, it would be a hell of a lot better.
True.
Fucking bloodshed, badass martial arts. It would have made it so much better. Street Fighter, piece of shit. Double Dragon, piece of shit.
Yeah.
The Resident Evil series, I kind of like the first one.
First one's moderately watchable.
It's
The rest
watchable.
not really.
Everything else is a giant turn.
Which one was that?
Resident
Evil.
Oh, the Resident Evil. Yeah, one. Yeah, one
Prince
was
of Persia,
good.
I mean, for a movie-wise, it wasn't that bad. But as an adaptation, it was a turd.
Yeah, it's okay. Yes, okay. Yeah. As a movie, it wasn't that bad, but
Did they do
it
Silent
did not
Hill?
adapt well.
Yeah, they did. I do not like the sound.
Oh, the Silent Hill saga is weird.
I gotta chime in on that one because I actually did enjoy this. I did enjoy the first Silent Hill movie.
Yeah. Fuck the second one.
Oh no, I never wanted to see the second one, but the first Silent Hill movie I actually liked. I liked it. I liked it as a horror movie because it did some stuff that not a lot of horror movies do. For one, it actually was a real movie and not some stupid found footage nonsense.
Yeah.
It was shot well. It was atmospheric. It was tense, and I liked that it didn't fall into like creepy jump scares, like things just jumping out and going
creeping out like
nothing just popped up behind you. Nothing like just popped up behind her in that movie.
Yeah.
It showed like the things were just like crawling towards her, and it simply relied on just the nightmarish look of the surroundings and the things coming after her for the scariness. Like you see Pyramid Head just like slowly Jason walking towards her, and it's just the fact that he's so fucking weird and nightmarish and terrifying looking. That's what's scary. He doesn't just come out of nowhere at her. He's like dragging a sword, like a 5-foot sword.
Yeah, he's coming at you. You see that impending danger, and you're just automatically terrified.
Yeah, like
how the fuck am I gonna get? I'm going to get away. And it's like a decision-making thing. It's like a video game. Whereas you see that even in the video game, I assume that you see that coming towards you. How do you decide? What do you decide to do? Do you run? Do you shoot this motherfucker down?
You don't fight
or
fucking someone with a giant sword knife.
Yes, you do.
Great act. Okay, I'm gonna play Silent Hill 2, and you're gonna play Silent Hill 2, and you're gonna cry like a little
So what do you do? Like, what was the
You run away!
Oh, you run away!
Pyramid Head is not something you fight.
You don't fight him?
He shows up, your goal is to survive.
Kind of like Pinhead?
Yeah.
You don't fight Pinhead either.
No, your goal is just to survive and get away.
Well, spoiler alert for Silent Hill 2, you do have to fight 2 Pyramid Heads. You do actually have to fight 2 of them.
Yeah, how is that possible?
Are
you a martial artist?
No, you're a regular troll.
No, the fuck out of me.
Every Silent Hill game.
I'm like, what's up? Oh, I'm dead.
You're a regular person.
Yeah.
You are the average Joe who's done something wrong in your life.
Oh,
and
I don't want
to spoil anything in the story because the stories for Silent Hill are fantastic.
But the adaptation. So why couldn't they take those stories, those awesome stories that people love, and then put it?
Well, like I said, the first Silent
just
Hill
watch
is actually...
just watch Jacob's Ladder. It's based off of that. One of the things they got they're inspired by is Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
Is the Silent Hill games. They're inspired by that.
Oh.
So see, you're interested now.
Yeah, the first Silent Hill movie is actually kind of the first Silent Hill movie is actually kind of a mix of the plots of the first 2 games.
Yeah, first 2 games.
Yeah, it's the protagonist from the second game in kind of the
it's supposed to be the protagonist from the first game, but they made it into a girl.
Okay, so yeah, she's the mom of the daughter, not the
even though there was no mom originally.
Yeah.
Unless you go by a separate game that wasn't out yet, so I'm not gonna even talk about it. Sorry, I can go into Silent Hill forever.
But yeah,
it's another one of those series.
I enjoyed that one. That was one of the rare video game.
It's not the worst. It's probably one of the best, actually.
Yeah.
It probably is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not a stellar movie, but it's watchable
for an
enjoyable, and it's a decent little horror flick, and it remains fairly true to its source material.
Yeah.
But in general, video games are hard to do because, like I said, they're just.
What about
they're doing Warcraft now? So
that's stupid.
That's just dumb.
It's literally gonna be a guy pointing and clicking. No, Warcraft is
Warcraft originally started as a RTS.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, so
what
did
you
had a
find?
storyline.
That's a real-time strategy game, moving armies on a field.
Okay, all right, real-time. Okay.
I don't play those ones personally.
You just have them attack, things like that.
That's Will's area right there.
Yeah. Will and Lance like their real-time strategy games.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll play them, but I suck.
So then you have another movie impending. What is it? Last of Us. So.
Oh,
is he gonna fuck that one up?
Are they really gonna make that movie?
Yeah, they're making Last of Us. They've already started casting.
I don't think they could.
Naughty Dog's supposed to be involved in it.
Well, if Naughty Dog's, I mean, they won't let something stupid happen.
Yeah.
See, the things like that though. Why do we want that?
Yeah, I know the game is pretty much
already fucking a playable movie. Why would you want to watch a movie when you?
That's like making Heavy Rain.
Yeah, when you just play the cut.
That's like making Heavy Rain or The Walking Dead into a fucking movie.
Yeah.
You know, they're already fucking. You're barely doing anything.
Yeah,
you already have it.
Yeah, you're already playing the movie. You're immersed in the movie yourself. So why would you want to sit there for 2 hours and just watch the same story, but you don't get to control how it goes?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of happy they've kind of stopped with a lot of video game adaptations. Like over the years,
really
it's been really thinned down, and I'm really happy.
Because they're doing Assassin's Creed also.
You know what? I'm interested.
That one could
somewhat
theoretically, because
interested.
that game series has a really cool core story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And has a lot of flexibility for adaptation into a movie.
Yeah.
What about Bioshock with that? Because I
They
know
tried
you were
that.
very into
They
I
did
love Bioshock.
Love all
Yeah.
3.
I never played the second one because I never saw a point to it, but I played
It's
one.
not bad.
I
I don't
played
think
one
it's
and
bad.
Infinite.
3. Yeah.
Fucking everyone has to skip 2. Fuck you guys. I'm out of here.
Everyone told me to skip 2. I was like, I'm not gonna touch it if everyone told me to skip it.
But
Just like how everyone told me to skip Assassin's Creed 1.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, do you have any favorite adaptations from whatever
From
genre
video
to
game? Or from any
film?
genre?
Anything.
I'll have to think
If you
about that.
insert Marvel did it, then I probably enjoyed it.
Blade 3.
Yeah, just say. I thought you were gonna say Blade 2. I'm just like,
Yeah, I was like, I played 1
Blade 2,
and 2.
but you had to put 3 on there. I was like, let me
He
sit
does
back
something
into
in
my
there.
seat because I do not want to go into that again. Because that's a whole thing
It's
in
always
itself.
exceptional
The whole Blade
rule.
series is a thing.
I was gonna say,
It's a
Blade
podcast of itself.
Blade
Man, I
one's good.
swear. I had to top down my boy on Mikey. Like, let's talk about that.
You know what?
I was a big fan of that one, but go ahead.
Watchmen I enjoy quite a bit, you know?
That's good.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, it's not a bad adaptation.
Yeah.
It's not that bad of a movie. It's probably... I think it's the only Zack Snyder film I like, though.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I think I'll agree on Watchmen because Watchmen is pretty much unadaptable.
Yeah.
So he actually did a really good job. I just wish that a more talented filmmaker had done it the exact
Right.
same way. Like
That's
the exact
Scorsese.
same
What?
adaptation,
Yeah.
but from a more talented
Do you think
filmmaker.
Scorsese-
Why do you say that? You don't like...
I just don't care for Snyder's
You don't?
camera style.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
His
His
color
fucking
color work,
effects.
his
Color
camera
palette,
whole,
yeah.
his camera
He
style,
thinks all that...
his
that
weird
dictatorship
slow-mo
shit's-
speed up action pacing. Yeah,
It's his thing, man.
not a fan.
Oh, okay.
But
I guess in the end, also, I mean, 300 wasn't a bad adaptation, but I just don't really care for 300.
For the 300 story. I thought it was awesome, too.
It's about
Yeah.
constipation.
I loved it. Any others?
Lord of the Rings obviously is an
Yeah.
excellent one.
Yeah.
As I said,
What about the Potter series?
Yeah,
Potter is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'll give him
Yeah.
that. Considering, oh god, the Potter films are one of the most impressive feats of movie filmmaking ever attempted. They went into this franchise with the books weren't even done, and they were just like, we're gonna make them while she's finishing the books. Let's cross our fingers in hopes that we don't catch up to her, so we have time
Yeah.
to make it. They made 8.
She was a
they
beast
made
with that shit, too.
8
Yeah.
movies out of 7 novels. They were fairly faithful, aside from the fact that aside from runtime and just continuity's sake, we had to cut stuff out because we really don't need all that extra shit in Goblet of Fire about Hermione and the house elves in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just would completely distract from any kind of tension on screen.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But they cast amazing actors. They got 3 unknown kids and turned them into stars without them going crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I think is probably because these kids had friggin' Alan Rickman and Maggie Smith and all these upper crust
very-
older British actors sitting
Yeah.
around them at all times being like, now don't go crazy, kid.
You represent
Yeah.
England, bitch.
Yeah.
Molding
Fuckers.
them.
And stuff like that.
You little fucker.
They got through all these
No,
movies
fuck.
with just a more
No,
increased.
fuck up.
They got through all these movies while increasing their excellent casts. They only lost one person.
Oh my goodness. They really did.
Yeah.
They
They
got
only lost.
fucking Oldman in that bitch.
Yeah, they only lost one person across the entire run, and that was early enough in
When he
it.
died,
Yeah,
He
that
passed
Richard
away.
Harris isn't even
Yeah.
considered Dumbledore anymore.
No.
Michael Gambon did it for 6 movies as opposed to Harris's 2.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what's your name?
but yeah, just excellent,
Helen
excellent,
Bottom Carter.
yeah,
Carter.
excellent feats of
Yeah.
excellent
I was
feats
gonna
of
say, it's the only
filmmaking.
time I really like her in a movie.
Oh really?
Yeah. You know, I
That's very
can't
good.
stand her.
That's good. Yeah. Anything else?
Not off the top of my head, I'd have to really think about it, but
You just said anything Marvel.
For the most part. Exceptions.
Blade, anything that isn't number 3 except for Iron Man 3.
the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the current Marvel Cinematic
Oh,
Universe, is
yeah.
pretty much flawless.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Just as All right. Well, mine is. I went back. I sat here thinking about it for a while. I was like, what is it? I know I have something. Then it hit me. It is Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, get out of here.
Anne Rice. No, seriously. Because they did very well adapting that book. Why? Because she had a stake in the script. It was part of the deal that she got to write the script.
But Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
Also Stephen King.
No, Stephen King wrote the book, yeah. And so
sure,
they gave creative license to it. But she's like, okay, I'll allow you to do this, but I have to write the script.
Yeah.
And I find that whenever the writer is involved in the actual script, that you get a better product on screen. Because they know how to pace it. They know exactly what they need to take out and to keep that storyline going forward. You know, Queen of the Damned, they fucked up because they just had rights to that.
Because
they took it and just killed it. But if you actually read Queen of the Damned, the book, the novel, it is just fantastic. It's like a superhero of fucking vampires all coming together to fight off the big queen. I forgot her name.
Queen bitch.
Okay, well, she was good, but yeah, to fight this queen, to go against this queen, and it was just great. And and then I wanted to bring up too, because we were just sitting there talking about fucking Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That's one of the recent adaptations that I just
forgot about that.
It was a
gosh.
great adaptation of the book. You know, I know they left some stuff out, but for the most part, they followed that shit to a T, and it was damn good. You know, in my opinion. Did you ever read it, or
I've never read or seen it?
Surprisingly,
I agree.
my mom has.
Yeah.
Like, how could you, Mom?
I agree
all
with you
three
on
books.
that. I agree with you on when the author is involved in the process of the script and screenwriting is usually better. I want to say there's an exception because I could have swore that just recently I saw something. Watched something where it was like the screenplay was written.
The News 300. I'm just kidding.
The screenplay was written by the person who wrote the script or the novel or whatever. And I remember recent. I don't remember what movie it was, but I remember watching it and just being like,
really?
Yeah, just being like, wow, you're a good novelist, but you do not know how to fucking write a movie script for shit.
Yeah, I remember. I was trying to remember if that happened recently. I can't remember.
It was something recently, and I can't remember what it was.
It was a terrible one. The Last Airbender.
Oh!
We're not gonna go into that.
An adaptation of the TV show.
Throwing that out there.
Okay, I'm about to segue into that for some reason. I know it was like it says favorites on the board, and then we go down in legend. But TV shows to
Simpsons movie.
Simpsons movie was awesome.
That was pretty.
That's one of the best. The Futurama ones also. I mean,
did they beat the movie?
They're straight to DVD, but they're good.
The exception being Beast with a billion backs.
I didn't watch that.
Being that one, that was terrible.
I didn't think it was terrible. It was definitely the least of them.
Oh god, it's bad though.
Are you guys fans of like Entourage or like Sex and the City when those things came out?
Totally into Sex and the City.
Yeah, I know you were, Chris.
I enjoyed Entourage as a TV show.
They're retired
but I
at
just
least.
don't give a shit about them making a movie out of it.
Me neither. I see no purpose for it.
Yeah.
I really don't. And what else did they? Is there something else that they wanted to bring to the big screen?
Veronica Mars.
Oh yeah, but that's
yeah,
on
they did
VOD.
that, yeah.
So yeah, I haven't seen it though.
I haven't seen it either. I wasn't even a fan of Veronica Mars.
I was for the first couple of
We
seasons.
don't get
I
a
was
whole lot of that anymore.
really involved in that.
That used to be a big thing, but we don't get a whole lot of TV shows getting made into movies anymore.
Yeah.
That used to be a big thing. And it
I'm surprised Dallas hasn't done
and
that
for
yet.
a long time it was
a TV show.
for a long time they were doing older shows. Like it was a show a long time ago, and now we're getting a movie like Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels.
Angels.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard. Actually, the Dukes of Hazzard movie is more enjoyable than it has any right to be. It's really stupid, but I enjoyed it.
I've never seen it.
I love the TV show, but I don't know. I just couldn't wrap my head around this movie.
You got Brady Bunch.
Mostly, it's just because.
Yeah, Brady Bunch. I like that.
It's because
I like that movie.
Those two idiots, Sean William Scott and Johnny Knoxville, just play really well together.
Yeah.
But, like I said, more enjoyable than it had any right to be, and shot pretty well. Some good racing scenes. One recent one that I actually enjoyed way more than I thought I was going to was the recent A-Team.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah, there you go. That movie was.
Those four.
I actually bought that on
phenomenal.
Blu-ray for $5. So
It should have got a sequel.
Look at Liam
It really should have got Liam
Neeson
Neeson.
as Hannibal.
Oh, that was great.
Man, that was just.
And
That casting was.
Charlotte Copley, man, as
Oh,
as
Yeah.
Murdoch.
Murdoch. Yeah.
He was great.
Yes.
cooking burgers.
I remember you watching that one, just being floored by it.
Cooking burgers and throwing shotgun shell powder on them.
Shit.
I love the tank falling from the sky.
Oh, that was so fucking great.
Just steering the tank by
I
using
did
its
take it to get a second run at that, man.
Because the box office sales didn't get enough.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
People suck, man.
No.
You suck at
Like
American
word of mouth, the DVD sales picked up, but box office it didn't.
I helped with that. I bought a Blu-ray of it.
Yeah, that was a good TV show to movie. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Adam's Family wasn't bad.
Oh, Adam's Family was a good.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like those. I like the two
Yeah,
of them,
I
you
liked
know?
them. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the director.
Oh god, no, he's stupid.
What was it? I can't remember his name right now. Barry Levinson?
I think that's it. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Anyway, because basically all he did was rip off a combination of Sam Raimi and Tim Burton's techniques and and then blended them together. But it worked for Addams Family. I enjoyed Addams Family. But a lot of that is the quality of the cast.
Yeah.
Raul Julia and
Fucking
Angelica
amazing.
Houston.
Yes,
just
most definitely.
amazing.
Fucking what's her face?
Little
Wednesday.
Christina Ricci.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
Christina Ricci,
fantastic.
Christina
yeah,
Ricci hits the screen.
She's just
Christopher
like
Lloyd,
weird.
Ethan
She has a little-
Scenery.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd is Fester because Christopher Lloyd is just amazing. But yeah, we don't get a lot of those anymore. The TV show is getting adapted.
Why is that? Because we get like the loss of the sitcom or the...
I think it's because because you notice it is all they were doing all the old shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, because
Yeah.
Leave
the
It
other
to
current
Beaver.
ones don't work.
Yeah, we're just out
Is
of
it
old,
theme-wise,
we're just out
you know?
of good old shows.
Yeah.
What about Gilligan's Island? Fuck you, I want to see Gilligan's Island. I like Gilligan's Island. What's wrong with Gilligan's Island?
we don't need a big
Yes, we
That's a
do.
fucking movie? Seriously?
Yes. Sex scene.
Oh.
Gilligan's Island
Is
sex.
it a ginger thing? You been
No,
wanting to see ginger?
Marianne.
Marianne? Oh, Marianne.
Marianne.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like
Those
it'd be a
short
funny
shorts.
version of Castaway.
Yeah, I mean, if they did it right, they could do that, you know? They could do
Ooh,
Gilligan's
what
Island.
about Logan's Run? Didn't they do that one?
Logan's Run. That was a book.
That was a book.
not
Yeah.
a TV show. That's
You're
one of
thinking
my.
of
Didn't they have
Prisoner, I
like an
think.
adaptation of something?
You're thinking of The Prisoner with Logan's Run, I think. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
I thought
Well-
Logan's Run was a...
TV
No.
series? No.
No.
You're
Logan's
thinking
Run
of
was a novel.
Yeah.
Logan's Run is another good example.
Hogan's
Actually, I'm
Heroes?
glad you brought
You
that
seen
up
that
because I wanted to talk about Logan's Run with the adaptations thing. Because I've read the book and I've seen the movie, and their core concepts are the same. It's about a society where where people live in a utopia, but the gag is that you reach a certain age to keep the society running. When you reach a certain age, you have to volunteer for euthanasia. In the movie, it's the age of 30.
Yeah.
You live. You can do whatever you want. You can fuck whoever you want. Do any drugs you want. You don't gotta work. It's just your life is one long party.
The best
when
freaking
you're-
fall at New Vegas.
But when you're 30, you turn yourself in to be killed to help to keep the population down.
Yeah.
That's the same
Damn,
basic.
that's what that was about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and the story the story follows a guy named Logan he's a Sandman. His job is to hunt down people who don't turn themselves in to be euthanized. If they try to run when they're supposed to be turned in to be killed,
Looper. Sorry.
or if they try to run instead of turning themselves in for euthanization, his job is to hunt them down and kill them.
Kill the motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Well,
It's like No Country for Old Men.
And then the story being that when it's his time, he chooses to run. They live in a big dome. They live in a
I
big,
thought you said they live dumb.
no, they live in a big dome mega city, and it's like life's a party, and it's run by this supercomputer, and he's a Sandman. He hunts down runners, and basically in the movie he gets called to the office of the computer that runs everything, and it tells him the numbers aren't adding up. The people who are turning themselves in for a carousel, which is basically your incentive for turning yourself in is that essentially it's like a lottery.
Yeah.
You go to carousel and it's like a lottery, and if you're chosen you get more lifetime.
Okay.
No one ever but it's a scam. No one ever gets chosen. You just go there and get euthanized. But it's the incentive to have people come and try at least.
Oh.
And so the computer tells him our numbers aren't adding up. People are getting out somehow. Like, we don't know how, so we're going to turn the little crystal in your hand that shows how old you are, we're going to turn it black to simulate that it's your last day of life, and you're going to find this, like, underground railroad that's escaping the city, and you're going to lead us to them.
Yeah.
And so it zaps this crystal, and it turns black, simulating that he's supposed to be, 30 at this point. And he looks at the computer and he's like, hey, so when this job is over, I get those last 5 years back, right? And the computer's like, you have your job, go. Right, but when it's done, I get those 5. You have your job, go. Oh, fuck. So he bolts, and now he's getting chased by his old friends, who he's under the fellow Sandman, while trying to find this underground railroad thing.
I need to watch it, man.
The novel is basically the same thing with mostly 3 core differences. One, the reason he runs isn't because he's on some secret mission. He just gets to his last day and he's like, fuck it, I don't want to die, and just becomes a giant hypocrite because he spent his whole life murdering runners, and now he's just like, fuck it, I don't want to die either, I'm out. And he just takes off and tries to escape. That's different, and and it's not like a utopian. The next big change is it's not like a utopian thing, because in the movie it's like World War III decimated the planet. This is like the last city left, and that's how they maintain their utopias with population control.
Oh yeah.
In the book, it's nothing like that. It's just that the youth rebellion of the 60s won. Young people just took over and overthrew the old, like the youth culture rebellion generation just wins and rules the world now. So it's not like some bombed out society. They just took over the world.
And so once you hit 30, they want to keep
that's
society young?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just made it illegal to be old.
Wow.
And just started killing everybody above a certain age. The third and creepiest, weirdest, biggest difference between the book and the movie is in the movie you die at 30, in the book you die at 21.
Oh, that's
So it changes the entire societal structure when you're considered young and a child from 1 to 7. You're considered an adult from 7 to 14. And you're considered an old person from 14 to 21.
Oh, wow.
So when you're 7, you're an adult. You're getting married and
Seriously?
getting a
People
job.
got married at 7?
Yeah, you're you're considered an adult where you get married and shit. And so there's scenes in the book where he's walking around and it's totally normal in their society for him to pass like a 12-year-old prostitute. Because she's a grown woman.
I gotta watch this movie or read the book.
That's the book.
Now, what's your recommendation?
That's why it's creepier.
Book or movie?
Watch the movie first.
Watch the movie first?
Yeah, it's a fun, cheesy sci-fi movie, and then you can read the book and be like, this is so much more terrifying.
Oh, really?
It really is. Like, there's scenes in the book where he's running from his former Sandman colleagues, and he knows all the tricks for runners because he's been hunting them down. I forget. It's written by 2 guys. I forget the name of them. I don't know. He knows all the tricks to escape runners because he's hunted down them before his whole life. So he's being chased by a runner, and he leads him into these slums and lets the Cub Scouts tear him apart, which are basically feral children who don't have homes. So this runner gets torn apart by a pack of feral 7-year-olds.
That's cool.
It's just a little lamplight,
Huh?
This little lamplight from Fallout 3.
But
that's the feral kids.
Yeah. But that one's an excellent case for adaptation because they did do it once already in the 60s, and they keep trying to get a re-adaptation off the ground. Bryan Singer's been wanting to do it for years and years.
Oh wait, what about that one movie that came out called
That's
with Charlotte?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I was gonna say.
Charlotte Johansson and Ewan McGregor.
The Island.
The Island.
No, every few years, I hear this rumor mill buzz about so and so are really trying to get a Logan's Run adaptation off the ground again, and then nothing ever comes of it. But then all of a sudden we do get a sci-fi movie that has a lot of the same kind of concepts. Bryan Singer really wanted to remake Logan's Run right after he got off of X-Men. That was his dream project. He wanted to remake Logan's Run, and he just couldn't get the backing. He couldn't get the support, and then it fell through. And 2 years later, we got The Island instead. And then a few years after that, maybe a decade after that, someone else was really looking into making a remake of Logan's Run. They really wanted to do it. It was a dream project, and they couldn't get the rights off the ground, and it fell through. And then we got About Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one with Justin
Timberlake, yeah.
Running out of time.
Yeah.
The time is
a lot of the same concepts of limited lifespan and a dystopian future and stuff like that.
Wow.
So it's one of those things where it's I don't think we're ever actually gonna get another Logan's Run.
Not like that. No.
Yeah, but dude decided that he wanted to live, right?
Well, that's just a
that's
common
different.
concept.
Yeah, that was just
It's really like the
Yeah,
limited
it's totally
lifespan
different,
in a distant future kind of concept. But it's one of those things I keep looking at these and be like, are we just we're never gonna get another Logan's Run. We're just gonna get
knockoffs.
Yeah, it's like every few years someone's gonna remind movie studios that that's a concept, and they're gonna be like, well, we don't actually want to make that because it's a creepy, weird story, but that's a cool idea. We'll make something kind of like it.
Yeah. Hey, Pigpen. Yep. All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna have to run because Chris has to go to work.
So the next one we'll get into I Am.
Yeah, next one. I actually wanted to get into I Am Legend and actually have a full.
Yes, I get to read it finally.
A lot of time to do that one because I've been watching that movie this morning. And I was watching like Last Man on Earth last night, and I'm like putting these.
That's fine.
There's so much that I love about that damn movie right now. I don't know what it is. Trent, what are you doing out here? It's like with these fucking that mannequin.
I ain't playing with you, man.
But it's so trippy. I was like, this is fucking beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that one. Let's do that one.
Fine. We'll record the second half of this one later. Give me a chance to listen to that audiobook version.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I got some drive.
Actually, I had it downloaded. Unless you already got it on a flash drive.
Yeah.
I've got it
okay.
at home.
But yeah. Alrighty, what was it? 11:30. Yep,
we gotta run.
Alright, later. 11:30. Yep, we got it.
Yeah, we gotta run.
All right, later.
Yeah. But kind of the reverse though. Sometimes when it's a short story that they try to make into a movie, sometimes.